Welcome to another program launch preview. What I've been doing is putting together a series of videos just to explain the program that I'm hoping to launch in June of 2024. If you're seeing this video first, you probably should go to the YouTube channel and there's a playlist that will show these in order because this is actually part 4. And right now I have 5 parts planned. We'll see if anything else develops beyond that. There's some things I want to touch on in this particular video to explain the program. And then I have one more video after this. And then based on what kind of feedback I get, we'll see what comes after that. Just to introduce myself again, if you've watched more than one of these videos already, you've seen this crazy looking picture. And for me to introduce myself, I'm John R. Clay. And my goal in this whole program is to help people to become successful in the US stock market. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to teach a skill. Now, I'm going to say this, and I say this in my course, and then I'm going to back it up by lessening. It's going to sound kind of strong right off the bat. I don't care if somebody becomes rich or wealthy or not. I've had lots of people come to me over the years and say, yeah, if I give you $100, can you turn it into $1 million for me? I don't care about doing that. That is no interest of mine at all. My interest is I'm very interested in trying to show you how you can do it for yourself. That is where my passion really comes. So yeah, saying that I don't care if you're rich or not, well, it'd be nice if everybody was rich, but giving you the skill for you to do it on your own, that's where I really come out. And that's what I want to do to try to help you in this program. I have about 30 years of experience in the financial markets. I started as a hobby, then I just developed more interest. I actually went full time there for a while, and now I'm switching over and trying to take the program that I've been doing for quite a while and take that to the next level and making it available to more people. And I have about 40 years of experience as an educator. I've taught in schools, I've taught for Microsoft, their certification courses. I've coached, I've been a music instructor, uh, all ages, all different skill levels, doesn't matter. I've pretty much been exposed to everything across the way there. I have folks that right now I teach Chinese children English, and I'm teaching them the ABCs and how to count to 10. Well, I've also dug into the intricacies of TCP/IP and how to set networks up so they can talk to each other in Microsoft certification courses. And I've taught the rudiments of music and how to swing a baseball bat. So it's just all over the place. And that is what I really like to do. That's my calling, that's my passion, is to be an educator. And then this video is being recorded on the same day that the video right before this is also recorded. I'm hoping that there won't be a lot of background noise. Usually what I do when I do the videos each day and the weekly videos, I'm an early riser. I know, call me crazy, but it's quiet during that time. I can concentrate. It also gives me a chance to tune into Seattle Mariners baseball games because when it's early morning where I'm at in Eastern Europe, it's in the evening on the West Coast, and I can kind of listen along as we go. And I pay attention to what's going on in the news and so forth. These videos that I'm recording right now, it's during the day. And there's some guy out here, he's pounding the same nail for the 4th time. I'm also next to a school. The kids are out running around screaming. So I'm hoping that the background noise will be minimal at worst. Okay, now, the first thing that I want to talk about, this is where I'm going through the courses, because I've had some feedback in the videos that I go through the charts so fast. And I do that on purpose, because the idea is that there's really 2 structures to this program. You have courses where you learn the theory and the foundations and the basic information about the stock market. And that's more classroom type of things that you build the basic knowledge that way. The daily and weekly videos are designed to say, okay, what you learned in the courses, now we're seeing it played out in real time. If I stop to teach every chart that I go through, the videos are long enough already. They would be 3 hours every day. And I try to keep repetition in there, but to at least a minimum, because I know folks are watching all these videos and you don't want to hear the same things over and over. But again, being an educator, repetition is part of the key. You typically will have to say the same thing 3 times before somebody actually hears it and gets to the point where they can internalize it. And that's the idea behind these pre-recorded courses. They're one way where I'm doing all the teaching to you. You can watch them at your own pace. You can marathon through them if you want to. You can go back and rewatch them at other times. And another thing that I really try to do in my program is I'm trying to really stress critical thinking. I want to get to the point where instead of you just flying off and asking me a question that you could probably find the answer to yourself, my response may be, well, I covered that in this video. So go back and watch it. And again, instead of just regurgitating information back to you, I'm trying to promote the skills to say, okay, I can find the answer on my own. With my college degree, I felt that I got a good education, not because I was taught the right things necessarily. It's because it gave me the skills so that now I could go out and anything I wanted to learn, I learned on my own. And I consider myself a lifelong learner. I don't read fiction. I read nonfiction. I like to learn new things and I like to learn about different people. And so a lot of times if you have a question, and you're always welcome to ask a question and I will respond, but if it's clearly been already addressed in the program, I'm probably going to direct you to a particular video. And I'm not meaning that as an insult. I'm actually trying to help you build up that approach to things. So there are basically 4 courses that I offer as part of the S&P or SPX Investing Program. Now, one of those courses is already on YouTube and it's free and you can watch it at any time. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to update it and re-record it with new charts. I plan on doing this a while back. I'll tell you what's really held up this whole program the most. Yeah, I went through some remodeling. Yeah, I went through 4 months of having a half functioning bathroom and no functioning kitchen. Yeah, there's a war going on and I'm right in the middle of it between Russia and Ukraine. Okay, those are just excuses. What was really bogging things down is that when I record a video like this and it may be 20 minutes long, and then I have to spend 3-4 hours editing that blasted thing and getting the sound right and doing all this other stuff. I've changed that now. In fact, that's going to be the next slide after this. I'm taking a new approach, and I'll explain that more when I get to the next slide. But the first course that will be available. Now, some of you have already taken that basic course. This will be an updated version. A lot of it will be the same. It's designed to be more timeless. So a lot of the sections in that course are things that really don't change over a period of time. But the dates will need to be changed. The charts will need to be updated and so forth in some of the sections that I go through. And I'll be making some modifications as well. Then the second course, this is when I really get into the meat of everything. It's a technical analysis course. And this is when I really dive deep into my approach to technical analysis and why I use so many different indicators. And then I go through and I explain all of the different indicators, a bit of their theory, a bit of how they're calculated, how we interpret them, so that when you do look at a chart, you now have a basis of information to say, oh, I know how to look at this chart and interpret it. I see what he's talking about when he's saying that we're hitting overhead resistance or that we're going down or we're going up or things are looking better. That's the idea behind this, is so that you become more proficient at technical analysis. There are a lot of people that just rag on technical analysis, and they're probably folks that gave it some kind of a try and failed at it, and now they think it's evil and terrible and useless. And that's fine. People can think whatever they want to think, and they use a different approach to investing. I found that technical analysis is the best tool to use, and I get into that more in depth in the course. It's a pretty long course. We're going to be going through charts, and some of it's going to be a little bit dry and not exactly cutting edge excitement. So, but these are things that need to be learned so that, again, when you watch the videos, you don't have to try to figure out what is this chart all about. You already know, and you have a foundation, or you can go back and watch the video that goes with a chart that you're confused about to get some more insight as to what's happening. And this is never ending to me. I'm always reading articles. I watch other videos, not very many, but I do watch a few. And I've been able to pick up some ideas along the way. And so there's new ways of looking at things, maybe angles, shorter term charts, longer term charts, and so forth. So I'm constantly playing with this. And then as I make those changes, they'll be then put in the course itself. Then the third course are different strategies. Of course, we all probably know about the strategy to buy low and sell high. That's going long. Well, there's also other strategies that you can sell high and buy low, where you make money when something goes down. And there's also additional strategies that you can take advantage of when the market's going sideways. And it does spend a period of time, a percentage of time. It used to be a lot more. We're more trending now than we have been. But you get back into 2013, 14, 15, and up to 2016, the market was just, it was going higher, but there was an awful lot of non-trending time that was spent. And there are different strategies that you can implement when we're actually going sideways. The idea is to know which one to do at which time. And that's what comes back to number 2, technical analysis. We really look at what's going on in the market and we have a good grasp on, are we looking positive? Are we looking negative? Or are things really unclear right now? We use that as the foundation. And then based on that, that determines what strategies we go and implement. And with a pretty high, very high success rate and good rates of return and so forth, depending on what instruments and vehicles you plan on using. Then the last one is probably the most important, but why do I do it last if it's the most important? This is mental analysis. This is understanding fear and greed and trying to deal with all the emotions. The reason why I put it last is I want it to come after you've been exposed to the other information that I have to offer, because it's really easy to put this in an idealistic format to say, well, yeah, I'll be different. My emotions won't get the better of me. You can say that while you're going through a class. But when you're in the heat of battle and you've got thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and maybe even millions of dollars on the line, and you're seeing that possibly eroding very quickly, your mental analysis is going to be pretty messed up at that point. And so what I do is I really stress developing a plan, but while the market's closed, when you're not in the heat of battle, and then sticking to that plan when you are in the heat of battle and saying, okay, this is what I'm shooting for if I'm right. This is what I'm going to shoot for if I'm wrong. And just say, okay, that's the way it goes, if you're right or wrong, and then go on to the next one. And that kind of goes, 3 and 4 kind of go together. But overcoming our emotions, that is the biggest hurdle that we will have to deal with, because the stock market is it's an animal in and of itself. And it may not be complicated. I mean, you look at a chart and you go, okay, I should buy here and sell here when we go up, and I should sell here and buy here. It's not necessarily complicated, but it's such a beast that can act. There's human logic and there's stock market logic, and sometimes the two have nothing to do with each other. And that's what we try to overcome in this mental analysis course, just getting a grip on things, because this will ultimately determine success or failure. You can learn course 1, 2, and 3. You can learn the information, but if you can't get a handle on your emotions, 1, 2, or 3 don't even matter at that point. Doesn't even matter at that point. So then that'll be the last course that I go through. And there's books that I've read. There's also what I've learned over the years. And I'll be taking all of that and putting it together and presenting it in that course. Now, another thing, a new recording method, and this is what I was getting into with the background noise and everything. I do what I call take one videos. Now, what I was doing for quite a while is I would record the video and then spend the next 3 to 4 hours editing that video. And it was adding so much time every day that I wasn't barely able to do anything else. There used to be a photo finish from the time I would finish the video, and then I would have to start teaching my online English lessons. And I'd already spent 8 hours on that video. And yeah, it may be shorter, it may be more polished, but then I decided a few months back, I'm going to try just hitting the button and going on the first take. And you're going to get my words getting messed up. You're going to hear me coughing. You're going to hear me losing my train of thought sometimes because I'm thinking about 10 different things all at the same time. But if you're okay with that, then I'm just going to go through and do the courses, take one as well. This was the biggest hangup. This is why things were so delayed, because I have 100 hours of instruction. If I'm spending, let's say 3 hours on one 20-minute video, I mean, that adds, that's like 1,000 hours that I'm going to have to spend just getting the classes ready. And then what if I want to do an update? What if there's one section, or I want to add or take this out or re-record the whole thing? I'm going to try it this way. And if that's a real problem for you, let me know. If you find that my not having him edited is a real big problem, that's another reason for doing it voice only, because I can control that a little bit better. And I don't have to shower and look all pretty and everything to be in front of a camera. I can do these voice only videos a lot quicker. But this is kind of a new approach to me. If you go through the course that's on YouTube now, that's edited, and that took me a long time to do. That's why it's what, 3 years old now, and I haven't been able to redo it, because the thought of undertaking that task was just like, oh my God, I don't know. I like preparing the information, and believe it or not, I like recording the information. I don't really dig the editing part. And until I can justify bringing someone else in to actually do the editing for me, I'm just going to stick with doing take one videos. And that's what I call them. So you're going to get lots of mistakes in there. If that's a problem for you, let me know. If I don't hear anything, then I'll figure that everyone's A-okay with that for right now. Then another idea that I'm floating out there is called an advisory group. And if you're inclined, because I'm one person doing this whole thing, and over the years, how I've come up with a lot of the ideas that I use as an educator came from students, came from other educators, came from ideas that people were interjecting. Well, I'm kind of isolated right now. And if you're an idea person, maybe you have some suggestions for how I could change things, hopefully things to make it go quicker. But maybe something that you feel I'm falling short on, maybe you have some ideas, or maybe you want to give some feedback, or maybe consider a new approach on how the program is offered. Let me know if that's something that you would like to be involved in. Now, I thought about calling this the founders group or something, but then usually what that means is you're a founder, you just pay a lot more money, but you still get the same information. But so I called it the advisory group, because you're not going to pay to do this. If anything, you'll be credited by doing this. Now you have to really, offer some ideas and really give me some good feedback and be an integral part of this. If that's something you want to do, just let me know. There's a wide variety of folks that do watch the videos, and some of you may have some ideas that I really hadn't thought of before. Or maybe at least I have to justify the reason why I'm doing things now the way I am. So think about that, and probably send me an email. I wouldn't necessarily put a comment on there. I do put an email at the end of every video that I upload, and just say, yeah, something, we would probably do Zoom or Skype or something like that, where we would talk. And then if I get a few people together, we might do like a group type of thing. That's kind of what I have in mind, just so that I'm held accountable on my whole teaching approach. I'm very confident in how I teach, but I'm not real prideful in it. Meaning, because there's a fine line between pride and confidence, and saying, oh, I'm the best and you got to listen to what I say and do things the way I say. That's stupid pride. Confidence just says, okay, I think I do a pretty good job at this, but I'm always open to doing even better. And if you have any feedback for that, please let me know. Then the platform that I'm thinking of using, I looked at WordPress, and I don't use the word hate very often. I hate WordPress. If any of you have done any web development, it's like you get the plain installation, and then there's all these crazy plugins, and you're spending all this time troubleshooting things, and then you solve one problem and 3 more develop. I do not like that. And so I looked at some different platforms for how am I where's the website gonna be? Where are the videos gonna go when they're first put up before they're made public? Where's this blog going to happen? Where's this information going to be at? Well, what I'm thinking about right now, and I've set up an account, but I haven't actually started to roll this out yet. I'm considering using Substack for that. I can lock down certain areas and make it freely available to folks. There's a couple of things that I do want to roll out in the future that I just don't have the time to do right now. That could be incorporated into Substack. The discussions that we have back and forth, it looks like they have a platform that's available for that. So you may actually watch the video on YouTube, but the link for it will actually be in the Substack. And then I'll have a timer on there where after the market closes, that switches over to a public video because members will get first access to the videos. So, and even this is more at the idea stage right now, but I looked at a number of different platforms, different ways to do this. There's very expensive ones, there's free ones. This one seems to kind of make sense based on what I'm trying to do. So if you have any input on that, please let me know. And I want to stay away from spending all my time building a website and maintaining a website. I want to deal with the information that I'm trying to present to you, and I want to make everything else just as simple and as easy as possible to do. So thank you. I hope you found some good information from this. There will be another video, at least one more after this, that I will record. I hope you have a very good day, and I will talk to you in the next video.